Welcome back to the final episode of Conversations on Costs. I'm Tom Richmond.
I'm Dave Pardick.
And we're going to wrap up the process that we began just a couple of months ago, explaining how financial assistance and affording colleges really works. And I think we've gotten to the stage where people have said, I've either listened to you or I've gotten to this moment and I have a financial award. We've really decided this should be the place we're going to make our family commitment to go to college. Yep. And we have to manage the cost. There's some real dollars here.
That's absolutely, and that's exactly where we are. And we do refer to that as the manageability stage, when families start to strategize about how they're actually going to manage the bottom line that they owe at Bradley University or any school for the coming school year. Mm-hmm. We've worked all the way through the process to the financial assistance award, done the calculations, know how much we're going to owe. How do we manage that?
Mm-hmm. It's you now say, I've seen the cost, but now I know what our family's going to have to deal with. And no matter what the number is, it can seem large. And some families may say, well, you know, I've been planning for this. I can write a check for that amount. Yeah. Others will be like, I'm going to spread that payment out a little. Others will access other kinds of college savings plans.
Yeah, and I think that may be one of the biggest misconceptions that we deal with early on, where families say, you know, I'm comfortable with this number, but it's a little more than I can just write out on a check or pay on a credit card. When do I have to do that? And the answer is, well, you don't have to do that at all. There are actually myriad options available. Let me kind of characterize it this way. Really three different opportunities to put into a comprehensive strategy. One, using college savings. Deciding how much of what you've saved or invested, oftentimes in 529 plans, how much, if any of that, do you want to use as a lump sum to bring the big number down to a little bit smaller number. In Illinois, many families use the College Illinois program and the Bright Start program, but there's myriad financial aid, 529 programs available.
I get questions all the time. You can use a Bright Start or an Illinois plan at
Bradley.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Many families do. So that's an opportunity to make a lump sum payment. So, say you owe $15,000. Well, $5,000 of that we're going to pay right off the top from our 529. Now we have $10,000. How are we going to manage that? Well, maybe a long-term payment strategy using the federal parent loan program, where parents can borrow now, begin to repay, in a few months, or even postpone repayment until the student is out of school. But a longer-term payment option. So let's say the next $5,000 will be a PLUS loan, or maybe even some proceeds from an equity line of credit that the family has established. So that's another possibility. And then third, the remaining, in this example, $5,000, then goes on a short-term payment plan.
Mm-hmm. So they can spread that out over 12 months, or they may say, even when I look at taking that amount, dividing it by 12, that's going to significantly impact my family every month.
Yeah.
I can pay for it a little bit longer. So they're breaking it down and customizing it to their family using any of these programs.
I like that. I like that idea of customizing, and that, we've talked all along about how the understanding the college cost process is in some ways it's very broad and generic, and yet ultimately it's about each individual family's circumstances. And that's true from the beginning, and it's true all the way to the end when you finally decide, how am I going to manage what I owe? It's very individualized, very customizable, and that opportunity then presents itself now, but in many cases, families will even wait and make the decision about their cost managed strategy even until later spring, or even during summer orientation, when they come in and meet with a student fee advisor and decide on short-term, long-term parent loan, 529s, et cetera.
So really, two families with the same award might make a payment arrangement or access different resources and come up with completely different ways of paying it.
Absolutely, but a plan that works for that family.
And the nice thing too is if you're in that position where you're saying this is how we make the decision, you go, I think we can make this work. You decouple that from, you say, let's make the commitment. We're going to have a student at Bradley.
Yeah.
We're going to make an enrollment commitment, and we'll then work with Bradley on the exact payment structure.
We like to say, and we think our experience has borne this out, that we can customize a payment plan, payment options that will make managing the Bradley cost a reality for pretty much virtually any family. You never say every, but we're really successful, and we're really pretty good at being able to do that, working through all those options. So the Financial Assistance Award is out there now. Families can start to do the analysis, the cost comparison, come up with their bottom line, make the decision that Bradley University is their college choice for next fall, and then start to think about constructing the cost management strategy that's best for them. In the meantime, talk with your admissions counselor.
That's the key.
Yeah, contact that highly trained, very skilled individual who knows you, knows your student. They'll work with you to develop a plan that absolutely is optimum for your family.
You don't have to be a financial assistance expert to understand the process. We have the experts, and we will customize it with
Perfect.
you. And the next thing you know, the next conversation you have is, what classes do I register for?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us through a series of conversations, which we hope has helped you. We know it's hopefully begun a conversation. You may feel more informed and ready to have a conversation with someone here at Bradley. Reach out to us, talk to us about your situation, and hopefully we'll see you here on campus. And it's been fun to do this. Thanks very much for joining me as a co-host of Conversations on Cost.
Thanks for joining us. Good. You want anything serious? No. Could you put Tom's voice coming out of me and vice versa?